Welcome to r/entitled people, where we share stories from your lives about people who think the rules don't apply to them and they should get what they want. Thank you, friends, for subscribing to the channel and for so many likes. And today we have 3 great stories, so subscribe, hit the like button, and let's begin. The first story: intoxicated driver threatens service professional, faces manager's ultimate showdown. The second story: entitled mother tries to steal food, gets a ban. The third story: sales rep gives 30-day notice, gets let go immediately. Chaos ensues as company loses key account information. The first story is: intoxicated driver pushes customer service professional over the edge and is dealt with firmly. I just got home from work and am still trying to calm down after losing my cool with a customer for the first time in my working life. I juggle a few jobs, but one of them is working at a service station/cafe, which is where this story takes place. We sell fresh food, coffee, fuel, etc. This happened at about 3 p.m. this afternoon. Today, a customer pulled up to the pumps and starts fueling up his car. Normal enough. I'm cleaning behind the counter while watching people at the pumps when I notice this particular customer acting pretty strange. He's swinging off the side of his car, skipping between the pumps, and just generally acting pretty goofy. Weird, but he's not putting anyone in danger, so I go on with what I'm doing. He comes in to pay for his fuel eventually, and tries to pay with a gift card for an unrelated retailer. This is still fairly normal. People get their gift cards mixed up, so I explain to him that we cannot take the gift card of another retailer, and does he have another way he can pay for his fuel today? As we're having this exchange, I notice that the customer is swaying when he's standing still, and his voice is slurred and mumbling. The customer gets defensive straight away and tells me this gift card is the only way he can pay. He has no money on his debit cards and no one who can pay on his behalf. Still not unusual. This happens with people all the time. Store policy: when this happens, we can issue an IOU and the customer has 24 hours to arrange payment, but this has to be cleared by the manager first. No exceptions. I jump on the phone to the manager, explain the situation, and get clearance to issue an IOU. Perfect. While I'm doing this, more cars have pulled up and more customers are coming into the store. So I open up the second till and start serving on that while I'm also filling out the forms for the customer and making coffees and serving food. Once the customer notices there are other people in the shop, he starts asking me why I can't just accept his gift card in a very loud voice. I go through with him again why we can't accept the gift card. It's not for our store. It won't work with our systems. He asks the same question again. I respond with the same answer and apologize for the inconvenience. The customer chuckles to himself and asks the same question again, and again, and again. He doesn't want to give me his name or contact details until I have answered his question to his satisfaction. It was at this point that my politeness started to slip, and my frustration started to show. In a harder tone than I had been using up to this point, I explained to him again why his gift card won't work with us, because we are a completely different retailer than the one his gift card is for. No affiliation in any way. Fine, he says he'll give me his name. He tells me the name of a popular brand of alcohol. This could be legit, it could actually be his name, but people have tried giving us fake names in the past, so we can't contact them to pay their IOU. I smile and thank him for his name, and ask to see his driver's license to confirm the details he's provided, as per store policy. The customer just starts yelling at me that he doesn't have his license on him, and he's not liking my attitude. He's the customer, he's right and I'm wrong, and he won't stand the disrespect. He tells me that he's done, he's going, and I can just cover the cost out of my own wage. Any patience I might have had evaporated at this point. Me: no sir, that won't be happening. If you leave this store, I will call the police. Customer: what? How dare you? How dare you speak to me like that? No one disrespects me like that. You're dead. I'm gonna wipe the floor with you. What I didn't realize was that my manager had been listening to this entire back and forth, because I hadn't put the phone down properly when I'd called him earlier. He lives very close to the store, and unknown to me was already on his way, as he could hear the situation escalating. Also relevant is that I'm average height, very slim, and look like a strong breeze could knock me over. My manager's 6'4" and built like a brick SH house. He's the friendliest guy but doesn't tolerate BS. He pulls up on his motorcycle outside just as the customer is explaining to me how his mates will find me and destroy me for how I treated him. Me: "Sir, clearly you aren't satisfied with my service today, so I'm going to pass this over to my manager so I can assist actual paying customers who aren't threatening violence. If you feel I've been inappropriate, I encourage you to file a complaint with the manager." I hope I never forget the look on the customer's face when he turned his gaze upon the towering figure of my manager calmly taking his helmet off and saying with a look of steel in his eyes, "I've been listening to the way you've been threatening my staff and I'm here to sort this SH out. You can fill this form out with me now and leave on the condition you'll be back before 9 a.m. tomorrow morning to pay, and then never come back here again. Or you cannot and I will call the police. This isn't up for debate. What's your choice?" The customer almost fell over himself trying to apologize and decided to fill out the form properly and go. After he left, almost hitting another car as he swerved out onto the road, we called the police anyway. Not carrying a license and driving in an erratic manner while showing signs of intoxication during school pickup time? Nobody wants to be sharing the road with someone like that. Hopefully we won't be seeing him tomorrow morning after all. Well, of course, it was a real customer service Olympics. Honestly, no one likes customers who raise the bar and threaten violence because of their own inability to understand the rules and respect others. But definitely you're doing great. In spite of all your good-heartedness and tolerance, you still managed to resist this customer, and even invited your manager to make a favorable offer to the customer. In the end, the customer was a cowardly hare, fearing the police and agreeing to pay. I hope he also gets penalized for the DUI. As for you, it was your first time losing patience, and frankly, it's a well-deserved moment. It was hard for you not to explode, and I even believe you could have done it a little earlier. But now you can add this to your baggage of experience, and be prepared for any similar situations in the future. So the moral of the story, don't take any action that will result in you having to be called out by your manager. And if you do get around to doing so, remember to bring courtesy and respect with you, so you don't end up being a spectacle to everyone around you. The second story is, entitled Mother Tries to Take Someone Else's Food That's Not Hers. This was a few months ago, and it happened on the first month after getting used to my first job. EM equals entitled mother, D equals daughter, M equals manager, PO1/PO2 equals police officer 1 and 2, me equals me. I, female 16, started my first job at a pizza chain to get into my first career, so I can save for a car in college. At the first month, I went from sheet outs to landing pizzas and all the way to being a cashier. I was aware that if I were to work as a cashier, I'll run into customers who can be rude, so I took that risk. On the second day of being a cashier, a young adult woman comes in, EM, with her child, D, to place her order. I didn't notice her until she raised her voice. EM, hello? I apologized and greeted her. Me, hello there, how may I help you today? EM rolled her eyes. EM, can I get a pizza with bacon and pineapples on it cut in squares? Make it quick, please. My child is hungry. Me, sure thing. Would you like breadsticks or anything else with it? EM, no thanks. When I told her what the price was, which was $9.50, actually it was $10, did some math, she got a bit sassy and asked why it was that much. I explained that for our custom pizzas were to be $6.50, and the toppings added are $1.75 each. She got madly confused, so I had to break it down to her. EM, this must be a mistake. Can I speak to your manager? I nodded and got my manager for her. M, hi, how may I help you, ma'am? EM, what's this about with that whole custom pizza BS that she explained about? M, ma'am, the custom pizzas cost $6.50, and the toppings along with it cost $1.75, as she explained. EM, I thought that the pizzas were only $6.50, and the toppings were to be free. M, and that's where you were wrong. She explained correctly of what I explained to you. All of this was going on while I was doing my own job. As soon as I was done taking a man's order, EM finally places the same order that she made along with a pepperoni pizza cut in squares. Depending on how busy we are, custom pizzas range about 10 to 20 minutes. I even told EM how long it would take. It wasn't about 5 minutes until EM comes up. EM, do you know how long it would take to get it done? Me, we'll get it done as soon as we can. We're getting it made right now. EM scoffs at me. But it's been almost an hour, she says with an attitude. Me, ma'am, please don't make a scene. I'll get the manager for you. EM, don't effing tell me what to do, just get the effing manager. My daughter's starving. We deserve our pizzas to be free for this. Me, ma'am, I absolutely cannot do that. It's only been 5 minutes. At the heat of the moment, one of the employees gives me an order that just finished, that's not hers. It had 3 pizzas and breadsticks with sauces. EM, is that ours? Effing finally. She tries to take it off my hands, but I pull it back towards me. EM, hey! Me, ma'am, that is not your order. Before EM goes to attack me, my manager steps in at the perfect time. My manager steps in and tells her to stop. D started to look scared as well. EM starts shouting because she claims that's her order when that order I had is completely different. My manager tells her to calm down or he'll call the police for attempted assault on a minor. As that was happening, I give that order to the right person and sincerely apologize to them as he with his order. I was heated enough to leave the kitchen to calm down. I didn't hear the rest of what was going on until the police showed up, so PO1 talked with EM while PO2 talked with me and my manager outside. When we had to explain and end things, EM's order finally got done, and EM was told to never come back despite having to trying to attack me, and she would be charged with trespassing if she came back again. I didn't say anything and left back inside as they left with their car screeching and sped off mad. I felt very bad for the daughter for having to see the event. I never saw them again afterwards, and me having to handle that, I decided to stay anyway because I enjoyed being a cashier. Angry customers don't stop me from having to quit my very first job. This is just an awesome story about a mother who decided that rules and prices were not for her, and that she deserved everything for free. A true heroine of our time, I must say. Why follow the rules when you can try to scare and blame your teenager for everything? I mean, it's such a cool way to accomplish your goals, right? And even better when supported in the spirit of, I want everything for free, and I don't give an SH about your rules. And how funny that she decided to take someone else's order and almost attack you because you didn't give her that order. What a great way to get your way. I guess she feels like the law is on her side and she's always entitled to whatever she wants. And of course, what a great story ending with the police being called and the ban. This woman is really lucky she didn't end up in jail for her actions. But hopefully she came out of this experience with a lesson and won't try to attack teenagers for pizza again. The third story is, my rep gave a month's notice and they let him go that day. I was a customer success manager for the best sales rep in our company. He's been there for years and had deep relationships with all 60 of his accounts. Deep as in went fishing with, knew their families. Side note, he handwrote all of his notes and his home office had filing cabinets filled with information about where accounts stood, things coming up, what each account was interested in. He found a better job and let the company know, and said since he has a good relationship with his accounts, and it's the right thing to do, he's giving them 30 days, and within that time he'll introduce the appropriate rep to his accounts to have a smooth transition. His direct boss was grateful that he would do that instead of leaving them high and dry. When his boss told their boss, they canned him that day. They thought since I was his inside counterpart I would have all the information, without asking me. He called me and let me know that they let him go, and didn't need him to help introduce the reps to his accounts. He shred everything the next day. 2 days later, I get called into a meeting with a few reps and the VP of sales. They said, as you know, X was let go, and we just need you to give us a rundown of all his accounts, since there was minimal notes put into the CRM. I told them that he had everything in his home office, in filing cabinets, and didn't let me in on everything going on that I wasn't a part of, because he was so busy, and I was handling things that were in the pipe but nothing more. When I tell you the place went into a frenzy, it was wild. The VP stormed out. The reps were told that they, the company, had all the information already, thinking I had everything without asking me. Within the next few months, half of his accounts were silent and discontinued service. He told me when I first started working with him that the company doesn't care about you and you shouldn't let them see your hand. If you show everything, they can walk all over you. I absolutely believe this now. In fact, who would have thought that a company that so values its employees would give them the opportunity to neatly wrap up their affairs and leave? After all, everyone knows the best way to solve a problem is to fire the person who wanted to leave, and not try to preserve the relationship or make the transition smoother. As strange as it may be that the company expected you to just have all the information in your head and not have to clarify anything, but for now the company has learned a lesson that you shouldn't imply that employees will always be willing to share all the information and help when they leave. Thank you for watching. Hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.